Hello and welcome back. My name is Dr. Christopher Gennari, and this is Great Big History Podcast. Welcome to our episode on nomadic government. So we talked about nomadic lifestyle and nomadic warfare. So who runs the show? A person, a man, for the most part, is going to run the show. Why? Because it will be personal, not organized. Nomadic government. There's no constitution. There's no written out stipulations. There's no bureaucracy. There's no department heads. It is run by a person. And the goal of that is the protection of the tribe. That's the goal. You succeed at that or you fail at that. Now, personal government has advantages. And the advantage is that you have a lot of access. Like, these are small groups of people. You could walk up to the leader and have a conversation no matter who you are. You see him at breakfast. You talk all the time. It's a lot of fluid dynamics. While you try to get the President of the United States on the phone, you can't do it as an ordinary, regular citizen. The layers of bureaucracy that you would have to go through to actually talk to the President is huge. Even in government. Like, you're a senator. You can't call up the president and be like, hey, let's get together. Like, it doesn't work that way. You have less layers to go through, but there are still layers. The leader of the Senate wants to meet with the president. He has to have his people call the president's people and then get the okay, then arrange a time, then figure out a place. It's a thing. Whereas in nomadic government, you could walk up to Joey, the horse lord, and be like, hey, Joey, can I go out and ride with you today? And right there, he goes, yay or nay. There you go. He looks you up. He goes, yeah, come along. Let's go. I'm Joey, the horse lord. Because the goal is the protection of the tribe. So it's very personal. You had a lot of interaction with the leader. And it's based on kinship, charisma, and strength. Kinship is who you are related to. If you are the son of Joey the Horse Lord, you are more likely to be accepted as a leader than you are the son of Billy, the horse thief. I steal horses. Look, they're all right here. They just left them out in the field. I'll just take them all. Like, if you're related to Billy the Horse Thief, people are not going to want to follow you because the idea that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, the idea of like father, like son, is very ingrained in these people. Now, after a few generations, your family things are very fluid. Again, we go back to the fluid nature. People die all the time. And so, how long does Billy the Horse Thief's family have to live with that? Basically, as long as people are alive that remember Billy was a horse thief, which isn't necessarily all that long. One day, the last person who remembers Billy as the horse thief will die. And these people don't write. They have no schools. They have no histories. They have the collected stories as memory. And so that story will change. So if their grandsons are awesome at war, people will forget that their grandfather, or more likely their great-grandfather, was a horse thief, was a loser, because the great-grandsons are awesome. And so one generation gives way to the next generation, and that matters. But it's fluid enough. People die early enough. You only lived about 30. People died early enough at large enough numbers that families could outlive those memories in a lot of ways and change over time. The second thing you need to do is charisma. People had to want to follow you. They had to just like you, not for what you did, but for who you were. They had to just like you. And our great, lots of great leaders in history have it. There are some that don't, but most do. Hitler had it. The stories of Hitler's charismatic, bombastic speeches have become the stuff of legend. Like, even as a historian, I don't know where the truth is, and the myth begins when it comes to Hitler and his speech making. Like, even modern movies are like, Hitler, he's a bad guy, but man, he could give a speech. That's just, I mean, there's the King's Speech in which he literally says that. He's like, that guy, he's a bad guy, but he could give a speech. So, Hitler has it. Barack Obama had it. Donald Trump has it. Alexander the Great has it. Julius Caesar has it. You don't need it as much as you get more and more bureaucracy. You need it a lot when it's personal government, when you have to interact with individuals. Whereas institutions can allow people to be very successful and not have a lot of charisma. And so at the personal level, like, mayors need a lot of charisma because they interact with people all the time, and they interact with their voters all the time. Like, you're mayor of a small town, people have to like you. You're the minister of the local church, of the local Baptist church. People can decide not to go. They could go to another Baptist church. So they have to like you because of you. You know, you might have a nice church, but if they don't like you being the minister, then they won't go. Whereas the Catholic Church has all of this institution around it. So you don't have to like the priest. And in fact, Catholicism is very set up for this, that you don't have to like the priest, and it won't matter. The majesty, the mystery of the Mass doesn't matter who the priest is. The priest, as an individual, plays a very small role. He gets a homily. Otherwise, it's this institution built around this man, this person. Whereas you're a Baptist minister in rural Alabama, it is all about you. You're a revivalist preacher in a tent revival. It is all about you. It is not about the institution. There is no institution. So we're talking about charisma. You have to have it. People have to like you because of who you are. Then you need strength. And this is not just physical strength, though you'll need some of that too. But lots of people are strong because you work all the time. You're wrangling horses. You're shooting your bows. But you needed strength of personality, strength of morality, strength of ethics. You needed to be strong in body, yes, but also in soul. You had to have presence. People had to like you, that's the charisma. But you also had to have presence. You had to be able to lead by example. This is Alexander. This is right here is Alexander to the T. Why he's Alexander the Great. Because he said, let's go invade the largest empire the world has known. And I'm going to do it. Want to follow? And 50,000 people said, yeah, okay. And then he did it. It's the ability to walk the walk after doing the talk. It's LeBron and Steph Curry in basketball. You know, there's all of this debate in basketball, blah, 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 blah. Who's better? Who's the best? Who's the greatest of all time? That's all nice. But every team would rather have LeBron on their team than not on their team. Every team would rather have Steph Curry on their team than not on their team. And that's the lead by example. That's the strength that they bring. Like, there are great players who people don't want on their team. That's lack of that moral fortitude. Success equals survival, which equals legitimacy. So we have to talk about legitimacy. Legitimacy is like a theme of this course. We're going to talk about it a lot. We're going to talk about it all the time. So we'll talk about it. We'll define it now. Legitimacy is the ability to get other people to accept your right to tell them what to do. Legitimacy is your ability to get other people to accept your right to tell them what to do. Your ability to get other people to accept your right to tell them what to do. That's what legitimacy is. If you have legitimacy, people will do what you want them to do because of who you are. So we see legitimacy all the time. Moms have legitimacy. I'm the mommy, that's why. Right? And those of you who are from certain communities, you have your aunties. Tias. Pias. You have your aunties. Aunties get to tell you what to do too. Why? Because they're an aunt. That's it. And why do you have to do something? Because they're an aunt. Go help your aunt. Why? Because she's your aunt. Go help. Yeah, okay, Mom. Oh, yeah. Don't have to answer to you. That's legitimacy. Cops. Police have legitimacy. Now, we'll talk about the parentheses in a second. But basic, right? Police. So I'm a white man. I'm a middle-class white man. So when I see the blue and the red behind me, I pull over. I don't gun it. I don't go at 100-mile-an-hour chase. I pull over. The guy gets out. He says, do you know what you did wrong? I say, I don't probably know, but going too fast, made a right where I shouldn't have made a right, something. And he says, yeah, that's what it is. I'm going to give you a ticket. Can I have your license, registration, and insurance? And I say, yes, of course. And it's very pleasant. And it sucks, but it's pleasant. We're all very nice to each other. And I go on my way. Now, that's a privilege I have as a white middle-class man. At no point is the cop pulling out his gun, yelling at me. He sees me in my car. He knows I'm a white middle-class man, and he walks up, and it's all very nice. So when the cop asks me to do something, he has legitimacy. And the accoutrements of the cop, the badge, the uniform, the hat, all of that is about gaining legitimacy. So that he doesn't have to pull out the gun. Pulling out the gun is a failure of legitimacy. Because now you have to rely on force. And so everything that the cop has, from the cop car to the blue and the red lights that nobody else has, to the siren, all of that is about encasing that person in the ability to get you to do what they want you to do. Now, in other communities, if you know you're Ferguson, you're Baltimore, you're Oakland, you have seen hashtag Black Lives Matter, and you've seen what happens when cops lose their legitimacy, when they don't treat their constituents well, when protect to serve is not seen as a methodology. Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem, and other people following him and doing so themselves. That's what happens when you lose legitimacy. Bad things. When you lose legitimacy, nothing good happens. And so You get riots in Ferguson, Oakland, Watts, back in the 60s. You get civil war in the 1850s. The Republican government won. Abraham Lincoln won. And the Southern Democrats said, no, you're going to take away our slaves, and we don't respect that. No. And 11 states left. When you lose legitimacy, bad things happen. For a nomadic government, it usually means you get murdered. People don't follow you. Same thing happens to chimpanzees. When the females in a chimpanzee tribe, I don't know what the name for a group of chimpanzees are, but in a tribe, decide that the leader is bad, they tell the other men, go murder that guy. Kick him out or murder him. And the other men go, all right, we'll do that. And then the women pick another leader. Because success equals the survival of the group. The survival of the group gives you legitimacy. If it works, you keep doing it. If the leader wins, you keep following them. Failure equals death or destruction. Either failure on the macro or the micro level. If you become leader and people lose, you seem confused, you don't know where to go, you don't have that strength to lead by example, you're going to end up murdered. They're going to kill you in your sleep. Or the macro level. You lead them into valleys that there are no food. You go and you fight tribes that are bigger and stronger than you. Your tribe is then obliterated. What is the advantage of this? The advantage is it's very flexible. It's very personal. You're going to get a good leader. Everyone's involved. Everyone's a part of this. And you're going to get a good leader. Why? Because you don't have the room for a bad leader. And so the tribe gets together. It's not like one guy says, I'm the leader. No, the tribe of 500 people get together and they say, Joey, you're the leader. And Joey says, of course I'm the leader. Yes, I will lead. Uh-huh. That's what I'm going to do. I am the leader. So the advantage is you get a lot of loyalty and you get a good leader because you get rid of bad leaders. The disadvantage is that there's no predictability to it. That the very flexibility that is an advantage is also a disadvantage because your leader will take part in every battle. Your leader will hunt. Your leader can get hurt, fall off the horse. Get a cow that cannot ride is no cow. They must lead by example. You don't have old nomadic leaders. Donald Trump could never lead a nomadic tribe. Why? Because he's old. He's 73 years old. There's no way a nomadic horse tribe would allow someone that old to be in charge. Never. This is a young man's government. Late 20s, 30s, maybe your 40s, maybe your early 40s, mid 40s. That's by the time you're 50, you're too old. Your body's too worn down. You had to lead by example. And so there's a constant turn. People get killed in battle. People die while hunting. Who is the next leader? We don't know. We have to decide that. Well, in America, the 25th Amendment gives us a clear line of who's going to be when, where. There's an entire TV show with Kiefer Sutherland about, hey, being like the 23rd guy in line and being the only one who survived. Kings are even longer. We know who the King of England is going to be for like the next 100+ years. We've got the Queen. We've got Charles. We've got William. Then we have George. It's like 150 years of kings we know. Of who's going to be in charge. And so the disadvantage of nomadic government is you never know. There's uncertainty. There's a lot of not turmoil, but churn. CHURN. Because it's a dangerous job being a leader. So in our next piece, we're going to do nomadic laws, and we're going to talk about women again, because women pop up here, where government and leadership is the men's domain. Laws are a mixed affair, so we're going to talk about that. All right, thank you.